Well, it's a lovely, actually beautiful autumn day here, and we're in the just on the outskirts here, the village of Denham, and this is the Church of St. John the Baptist. Well, hidden behind some trees, so we'll have a look in here, see if we can find it. There's a little shed there by the look of it, a garage or something, gravel path, and the church is up here. Let's have a look. Some old graves there. Trees have grown up around them, so they're well hidden now. Ah, and here's the church. Now from this angle, this is the back of the church, so this will be where the altar is. And that looks like it's had some work done on it. So we've got brick at the top, we've got rendering coming down, the top bit's presumably been replaced or repaired recently, and there's brick there I can see on the buttress. Looks like a church has been reworked over the years. In a beautiful setting. You can see the sun shining through on this wall, look, in front of us, and a lovely spot to sit down. I think we'll just go and have a look at that bench and just sit down and see what the view's like over there. It's lovely, isn't it? Lots of character on this church. Got rendering that's been falling away there. This is a delightful little old wooden bench that somebody's made. So we can sit down here on this lovely autumn day and hear the leaves rustling in the wind. They're all lying in the grass there and on the path in front of us. You can see this buttress is made of brick, which makes me believe that it's maybe Georgian. Certainly not as old as the original church. Kind of looks like Georgian brick, but I don't know that for certain. There's a lot of old headstones here. You can see the boundary of the church there. There's a church wall. These churches, what have we got here? 1819, he died 1888. Is that Elizabeth Ann? Nice bit of ironwork there. It's been kept in fairly good condition over the years because it's not overgrown. So this churchyard is quite well looked after. Wow. Now that's a really charismatic porch. This is a very unusual church. I just don't know how old it is, or it seems like it was an old church that's been repaired and enlarged at some point. You've got the brickwork there above the flint, and these windows were added at some point because obviously they were not there originally, and not that large. And this porch was added. They all look sort of early Victorian or medieval, I don't know. Fields here. So, on the edge here of the churchyard, which is surrounded by these trees, you can see those little fields. Quite a windy day now. The wind's just sort of come up this autumn day. A better view of the church here. Now this is a really unusual church. It's a really small village church that I suspect was a small, almost chapel-like building at one time, and has been slightly upgraded, but it has no tower. This is so quaint and delightful. I mean, it's just lots of character here. The churchyard has been very well cared for, really. Lovely atmosphere. I love the way that the trees have been allowed to grow. Very old trees here. I'm not sure whether this church is actually open. We'll have a look. It does have a welcoming notice about coming in to have a prayer, but that door looks slightly seen better days, I think. Got the netting there to stop the birds coming in. Looks like it possibly was unlocked. Oh, lovely, delightful little porch. So this is a small little porch that was added at some time. And here somebody's been kind enough to put a lovely vase of flowers there. Just a really nice thing to do. Looks like that was a window, I guess, at one time. It's been closed in or bricked in to stop all the weather coming in. I'll have a look and see if it's open. Yes. So step down. It's an old door. The first thing we see is a font. It's got some dates on it, 1871, 1876. Yeah. So it's late Victorian. And a gas fire. And here, now this is the organ. Next to the organ is a kettle. That's lovely, isn't it? Oh, it's wonderful. A plain glass window there. This is where normally you would have a tower in most of the larger conventional village churches. But here we haven't, because this church has no tower. We've just noticed here some interesting information, and certainly it is interesting because it affects the tower. Let's have a look. What does that say?
The tower was removed in 1744 with two of the bells sold to finance repairs and build a cupola for the remaining bell. The south porch was added and a buttress added to the southwest corner of the nave.
Ah, right. So in the late 18th century, the porch was built, the tower was removed, and the buttress was built. Ah, that explains a lot. So we know a little bit more here, and there's probably lots of information there in that notice board. Ah, and here is the bell. So that's the bell that was in the tower. I guess it's been sitting around since 17 something. This really has a feeling of an old church about it. I mean, I know it is an old church, but it's kind of got a nice unique feel about it. Actually, it feels and looks grander inside and larger than it does on the outside. I guess because there was no tower. So we've got a plain glass window here on this side, and pews, of course, on both sides. Actually, I think they're all plain glass. I don't think there's any stained glass windows here, not yet. Have a look. I love the globes. I love those globes. They are very nice. I don't think I've seen ones quite like that in a church in Suffolk yet. They're very attractive, actually, and they do justice to the church. Lots of flowers here. It's really, somebody's working very hard with these flowers. It's a nice arrangement with flowers with fruit in that basket. We've got the sun coming in. We've got a red and black tiled floor, which is not unusual. It's the most common flooring that you see in the churches here. But this one is slightly unusual in the pattern. We've got this diamond pattern, which is rather nice actually, because it's got a large diamond in black tiles, as you can see, and then two little small diamonds in the middle. And I'm not seen that pattern before. That's really nice. Really nice. Another gas fire here. Oh, 2. 3. There's a lot of gas fires here. So I guess this church is well used, and it's probably pretty cold here in the winter. Hence the fires. One thing that is noticeable is that there are not, it's the absence of memorials. Not many memorials about it. The walls are all rather plain. Another one of these lovely candles, decorated candles, which I like. They're lovely. There's flowers on the altar. You see, we've got a covering over the altar itself there. But the window behind the altar is plain frosted glass. It's the same as all the windows here. Got wooden ceiling, I mean. So you get a nice view here down the aisle to where the tower used to be. Certainly a long time ago. Lots of light in here, of course, because we've got large windows and they're fundamentally plain glass. This arch here, which is, it's not really an arch, round arch, it is an arch. It's a nice shape, actually. It's very quiet in here because we're in a remote part of the countryside. No roads here, really. It's a tiny little lane to get here. And here we've got the pulpit. We'll just have a look up and see what the church looks like from up there. Ah, was a doorway, I guess, of something that's been bricked in. So just walk up this. Spider's webs as well here. So we get a good view here of the church. And we just sort of have a look around. You can get a sort of panoramic view of the church because we're kind of in the middle of it here. So as we just sort of pan round gently, we can just come round. It's lovely. And if we just walk over here now to the side of the church, here we've got it's like a very important tomb, but Doesn't seem to be any notice or indication of who the tomb is for. So it's a very interesting church. I mean, it looks like it's used, well cared for. And over here we've got a large arch. I don't know. Seems odd it's quite a grand arch actually for this church, and it's in the middle of a wall. I don't know what that would have been. Would there have been an extension there at some time? Did it go somewhere? Maybe it was a big door? I don't know. Window? No, I doubt it. Maybe there was a painting there, or a memorial. I just don't know. It's strange. Seems to be a lot of questions here. I mean, here we've got another shape, look, that asks a question of, what was it? Was that a window or a door? I think this church has probably got a very interesting history. Probably a church that's worth researching. Oh, it's lovely. Well worth visiting. So a final little look down there. It's very nice. So we'll open this old door. 2 handles. This doesn't seem to do anything. This is obviously a newer handle which does work the lock. Like most of these church doors, they don't work too well actually, and you really do want to be careful not to damage them or anything. But you also want to make sure they're as closed as they can be. That seems to be alright. It's a lovely old door. And then we'll go back out through this little gate. So they lock the church up, which is good. And we've got this, put that back, that's okay. And then the netting to stop the birds. So this was built in the late 18th century, as was that buttress and the sound of it. Right, so this is the area in the front here where the church had a tower and it was removed. So this is fairly new rendering. I mean, this is very smart looking here. Got this big rendered wall here. And of course you can see the porch which was added on. The churchyard here is very pleasant. It rolls gently down away from the church. And looks lovely in the autumn. Starting to get a bit chilly here. Now this side of the church is a lot busier. Seems to be some more going on. I mean, there's big windows again, buttresses. Let's have a look. Now we've got a door there. Can't remember that. Yes, there was a door on the inside, I think. And lots of old headstones here that have been placed up against the church. Whether they've been broken or they just cleared an area, I guess. Ah, now you see, now that's interesting. Now that's that big arch. Now that arch has been bricked in. I just don't know. Was that a big window at one time? Ooh. That was a big bird scarer that went off. Oh, it's going off again. Now that is a really big arch. Look at that. Now, so that's on the inside. Now that was a very, very well executed arch on the inside, and it's been bricked in. And I just don't know. I mean, it seems to suggest that was a window. Certainly a large window. I just don't know, and it was... We don't know. Was there an extension here at some time? Difficult to know. It really needs researching, this church. I think it's so interesting. And this extension looks fairly new. Now there was a door there, wasn't there? So that we didn't actually go in that. See the churchyard here. I think that's where most of the obviously the headstones have been taken from. In the end, a lot of the churches have to clear these very old headstones, especially when they're damaged and everything, and it allows them to mow or to cut the grass and to keep the churchyard clear of all the vegetation. More old headstones there. St. John the Baptist in Denham. A really interesting church. Very unusual for this area. Well, first of all, it hasn't got a tower. That makes it unusual. It's got a lot of obvious changes and alterations to it. And that big arch, and some of them therefore a bit confusing, and I certainly cannot make out what it was or how it's been changed really. I think it's a very interesting church. It's certainly in a lovely setting because it's remote, on the edge of a field, on the edge of the village and on the edge of farmland. Lovely church and a lot of history here, I guess. Very nice.